Hello friends, welcome. In this tutorial we are going to take a look to the Pinia Vue store. If you go to the pinia.vuejs.org, here we have, go to the get started, and we have the documentation here. With that, learn that, we are going to create a project, something like this we have here. So we have a project with 3 routes: home, about, and movies. And here is the logic. We get the movies from the API. We have a localhost 8000 movies here, and here we have the API. We get the movies from there and display it here. Also, we have a search here, and this search is going to be made through the API, not a filter. So for example, we're going to search all the movies has this keyword in it. This one has, and this one. Or for example, by the year, by saying here 2004, okay, or by the how many minutes. If we type that, yeah, as you can see, this is because we used a JSON server, and that's offered that search. Also, if I remove the search, we have 5 movies, and here we have movies and the count, how many movies we have. And here we have a select dropdown, all over 2010 and over 2020. So if I select the over 2010, we have all the movies which are 2010 and up. As you can see here, we make a filter. Or if we want with a 2020, over 2020, we can see we have only one, which is this one. And if I select over 2020, yeah, we have only this one. And of course, we update how many movies we have with that over 2020. So this is the project we are going to build through learning the Vue Pinia. I hope you are going to like, and don't forget, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next tutorial. All the best. Hello friends, welcome. I'm going to start a new mini series about Vue Pinia, and I'm going to use this project I have created for Vue router, and you can find in my GitHub repository. So github.com/laraveller/Vue router for tutorial. Go and clone that, and I have opened this in the VS Code, and here it is. Let's open the terminal and let's say npm run dev, and if we open now this URL on the browser, we have the project. But we need also to add, so if we go to the movies, we need to add the movies here. So for that, let's open the VS Code and new terminal and say npx json -server -watch, and we need to watch the database /db.json, and we need to watch that in the port 8000. Hit enter, click yes, okay, now we have that localhost, and if we come here and refresh, we have movies. Okay, very good. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change the navigation. I'm going to add a search and filter for the movies. For that, I have prepared this one, so I'm just going to copy that and add inside our source directory. We have components and we have this navbar, and I'm going to close this one now. And here, instead of this, I'm going to add what I have copied from there. Okay, if I save and come here in our project, yeah, we have something something like this, but we need to add links here. So okay, now here when we have the anchor tag, instead of that we need to add the router link like this, which is going to go to the, this one is going to go to the home page because we have home here. This one is going to go to the about, so let's say a router link and go to the about / about, and the last one is for the movies. So this one, router link, go to the / movies, and because if I open the routes index.js, we have added also the name. We can use names here. So instead of something like this, we can bind this one and say here, add an object with a name, what name we have named. So for example, for this one, which is movies, we have named a movie list. So let's add this name here and save. Go to the project, refresh, go to the about. We are inside the about, go to the movies. Yeah. Okay. The first thing in this video, I'm going to install Pinia and then go and work with this search because right now it's not doing anything. So if you go to the vuejs.org and in the ecosystem here, we have Pinia right here. So let's click, go to the get started and go here to the getting started. We need to install Pinia, so I have used in npm, so I'm going to use npm. If you have a yarn, you can use yarn. So let's copy that and go in the project, open the terminal. Okay, and here just paste what we have copied, npm install Pinia. Hit enter and it's going to install Pinia. Then we need to import the create Pinia from Pinia in our main.js. Create a constant, an instance for the create Pinia, and then use that Pinia here. So let's do the same thing here in our project. I'm going to close this and open the main.js. First, we need to import the create Pinia. So let's say import the create Pinia from Pinia. Then we need to create an instance of this, of the create Pinia. So let's say constant. I'm going to name it Pinia, which is going to be equal with create Pinia function, and we need to call that, and then we can say use Pinia like this, or we can create a constant for the app and say equal with the create app and add the app component here, then say app.use Pinia and also app.use router, and in the end remove what we have here and say app.mount. Okay, I'm going to zoom it like this. I think you are okay now, and let's save and let's see if everything works correctly. Refresh, go to the about, go to the movies, go to the home, and of course if I click here, yeah. Okay friends, that's it for this video, how to install Pinia, and then we need to create a new store for our movies. We need to create a store for movies and then filter, show and do what we want with movies. So see you in the next video. All the best. Hello friends, welcome again. in the previous video, we installed the Pinia store in our project. Now, as I said, I have added a search here. And if we want to make a filter, the search is in the navigation. So if I open the components navbar, and here we have the input for the search. Okay, now if we want to make a search here, we need to get all the movies and then filter by what we typed here. But to get all the movies, if we go inside the views, movies.view, we get the movies like this from this API. So we need to get also in our navigation and then filter by what we typed. But because we have installed Pinia, now it's more easy. We can create a store and get the movies there, and then in the navbar we can get movies from that store, and the same thing in the movies. Can remove this and get the movies from the store. So let's do that. If you go to the Pinia, defining a store, here is how you can define the store. Import the define store from Pinia, and you can name the return value of define store anything you want, but it's best to use the name of the store and surround it with the use and the store. For example, use user store or use cart store. Okay. The first argument is a unique ID of the store across your application. So the first argument here is a unique ID of the store. So let's go right here, and we have an example for the counter store. I'm going to copy this and let's close this one as well. Inside the source directory, I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to name it stores, and here I'm going to create a new file, movies.js, and here let's paste that we have copied here. Export const use counter, but we need to say use movies. We don't need counter, we are going to create this for movies, and here is the ID. So the first argument is a unique ID, and I'm going to name it movies. Okay, then we have a state, getters, and actions. For the state, we have this count and name, but for us, we need movies, which is going to be an empty array initially. And also we need, if we go to the movies, we need also this is loading. So let's create also that is loading, and initially it's going to be true, but here I'm going to say false. Okay, then we have getters, and instead of something like this, let's say let's remove for now, and here we have actions. For actions, I want to copy this to what we have here and create an action to get a movie. So I'm going to say get movies like this and paste here what we have copied, but here we use await, so we need to make this async function. Async get movies. Okay, and now we have the response. Instead of saying movie list.value, we can assign the movies with the response. So let's say this dot movies is going to be equal with the response. And let's save, and let's see now if we have everything okay. Good. If I go inspect the element, go to the view, I have installed the Vue DevTools here, and we have Pinia. And we don't have any store because this store we just created and we don't use anywhere. So let's go inside the movies.vue, and to use that store we can, if you go here, we have using the store. We need to import that store and we create an instance of that store. So let's do the same thing. First, in the setup, I'm going to import up here the use movies store from the movies, and then let's remove what we have here. Or I'm just going to comment this and let's say create a constant what you want to name. So here we have store, but I'm going to name it movies store. It's going to be equal with the use movie store function. And now if I save as it is right now, and let's go back and refresh, and we don't see that. If you go to console, yeah, the define store, because I just copy and say define store here. So let's say define store like this, and now we have imported. I forgot to do that. Now let's go back and refresh. Okay, now let's go to the view, and here we have movies. And right now movies is an empty array. We need to call this get movies, and then we are going to have that. So instead of something we have here, we just can say on mounted, I'm going to say movies store dot get movies like this, and now let's save it. And as you can see, we have 5 movies here. Okay. Then instead of saying if is loading, we need to say movie store dot is loading in here. So instead of something like this, we can say the movie or movies, what we have named movies, yeah, movies store dot is loading. We are going to show the is loading. Then instead of movie list, we need to say movie store dot movies like this. Let's save, and if you see here, now we have the movies. Refresh, everything okay. If we go here, yeah, it's working. Okay friends, that's it, how we can create the store. Added an identifier here, movies, then add the state, getters, and the actions. And the action we can make async await, very nice. Then we can use that store in the our component by importing the store, defining the store here, create a constant for that store, and we can say movie store dot and what state we have here. So movies or is loading. That's it about this video. Hope you enjoy and see you in the next one. All the best, friends. Hello friends, welcome. In this video I'm going to work with the navbar here. First I'm going to fix this. We are in the movies, but the home has the blue color. And of course when we go to the about, the same thing. So I want to change the blue color if we are in that page. And then let's work with the search here. So when we type something, I want to make a search and get the movies based on that we have typed here. And we use the JSON server. So here we have the movies we get. And we can search them by if I type question mark q equal with something, so we get only the movies has this query in the title, as you can see. Okay. And now is getting all the movies has this year inside the year. So this is how we can make a search with the JSON server, and we can use that for our project. But first, let's work with the color here. So let's open a navbar, and I'm going to zoom it out a little bit. Yeah. Here we have the li 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to move this 2 and leave only 1 and then duplicate. First, I'm going to bind this one. You cannot, if you don't like, you don't do that, but I like to make the other names here. So let's add name to be home. Okay. Then here we have text white and on dark text white. Let's say text slate 700. And I'm going to remove this, and also empty text blue I'm going to remove for now and save it. And yeah, we have only the home, and if I go, we have that color, so text slate, but I want to give text blue if we are in that route. So we can say active class, and let's say text blue 500. And with that, now we have that one. Very good. Let's copy and add the other routes. We have the about route, and also add about here. And then also we have the movies, and the name is movie list. And let's say movies here, like this, save. And if I navigate now, we are in the about here, and we have about blue movies, and yeah. But if I inspect the element and let's go in the network, let's slow 3G. I forget to work with that loading, so we don't show the loading here. And let's work with that. Let's go and open the movies store. Here we said is loading to false, and that's it. I mean the false. But if I want to get the movies first, I'm going to say that this dot is loading. It's going to be true. And then when we get the movies, I'm going to say false. So this is loading to be false, like this. And now let's go to the about, and let's go to the movies again. And if I refresh now, we have the is loading, as you can see. Okay. Now let's work with this one. So here when we get the movies, we have this URL, and we can add that we can add this URL here, or we can create another method, but I'm going to use this one. So let's add question mark u equal with, and here now we need the query. For that, let's create the query here, which is going to be an empty string, and let's say plus this dot query, and let's save. Go to the browser and refresh. We don't need now the slow 3G here. Yeah. We have all the movies. Very good. Now if I type something here, nothing happened, With that, we need to work in the navbar. So here, let's go up and work with input. Here we have the input, but first I'm going to import the use movies store from the stores/movies. And then let's create a constant. Movies store is going to be equal with the use movies store, like this. And then on the input, I'm going to add a V model and say movies store dot query. And now let's go here and open the inspect element, go to the Vue Pinia. We have movies and we have the query, which is an empty string. If I type something here now, yeah, we update the query. Very good. Now I want to watch that query. If change, make a call and update the movies. So for that, let's go up here and I'm going to import also from the Vue the watch. So import watch effect from Vue, and then I'm going to call that watch effect. So watch effect, and I want to call the movies store dot get movies if the movie store dot query change, like this. Save, come here, refresh. Very good. Now if I type something here, you can see we have only 3 movies, and also in the network, yeah, we have made a request and then we get 3 movies. So let's close this. Let's go also to console. Very good. Let's clear. Let's search for the doctor. Sorry, go back and search for the dog. Yeah. Let's search for the lion. Okay. Now this is how we can make a search and add also the colors here, and is loading. That's it about this video, friends. I hope you enjoy. So here we added we imported the movie store. We created the constant, a reference for that movie store, and then we add the watch effect and call the get movies from the movie store if the query in the movie store changed. Okay, friends, all the best and see you in the next video. Hello friends, welcome. In this video now I'm going to work with the single movie. So here, if we go there, yeah, we show the movie details. And if we don't have the movie, so for example with this ID we don't have in our database, hit enter, we navigate to the not found. Good. But all the logic, so if I open this, all the logic is done in the movie details view. So we need to move the logic in our store because we have created the store here. So let's open the movie details, and first of all we have use router here because we say router push, and I'm going to copy what we have inside here, or cut, and move in our store. Here in the actions, I'm going to create a new one, an async action, and I'm going to say get single movie. Here we need the ID. So I'm going to add the ID here, and let's add what we have copied from there. We say const result is going to be equal with await and fetch. Here we need to add the ID we get inside here. And then if the result is 404, we say router push to the not found. But we don't have the router here. And let's comment this for now. And then we say const response await with result.json and assign the query movie we had here with the response, but we don't have the query movie here. So let's create a new state, and I'm going to say a single movie. We can say query movie, but I'm going to say single movie here, and I'm going to assign with an empty object for now. And now here I'm going to say this dot single movie is going to be equal with the response. And also for the loading, I'm going to say this dot is loading is going to be false. And here I'm going to start the loading. So I'm going to say this dot is loading to be true. Okay. Now let's save this and let's go in the movie details. Here we have this unmounted. We need to get the store and call this async get single movie method action. So if we come here, we have imported the ref, and now we don't need the ref because we don't need to add the query movie and is loading here. So remove them. Unmounted we need because we are going to call the get single movie. So let's add that. We don't need the user router now, so let's also remove the user router. And I think we are okay. Now let's import the use movie store. Okay. And then I'm going to create a constant here, say movies store is going to be equal with the use movies store. So we get the movie store object, and now here let's say await movie store dot get single movie, and we need to add the ID, and we have that in the props here, as you can see, ID, and let's say props.id like this. And if I save now, we need also, because here we say query movie, but we need to get the single movie from here and add a poster title and what we have. So let's, and also for the loading, we have the movie store, and we can say query movie and select what we have here and replace with the movies store dot single movie like this. Okay, save. And also for the is loading, now we need to say movie store is loading. So movies store dot is loading. Save, go back, and let's refresh. I'm going to open also the inspect elements to see if we have any error. So let's click to this one. We don't have error, and we show that movie detail, very good. Go back, show this one, go back. Let's show this one, everything okay. Now one thing we don't have done yet is returning if we don't have that movie. So if I add here 44, and yeah, we just don't have that movie not found, but we stay here in the page with no details. And we had this thing here, but if I import the router, and we cannot use the router here, so I'm going to show you. If I import the use router from Vue router, and let's create a constant here to get the object of the router. So const router equal with use router. We cannot not get that in here, so if I uncomment and if I save, hit enter, yeah, we have cannot read properties of undefined reading push. And yeah, we see here is loading because this is not working now. Good. If you go to the Pinia documentation, and we have added a new external property in the documentation, and here we have an example for the router. We need also to import the mark raw from the Vue and say Pinia use store and say store.router mark raw router. So if I copy this and add this now inside the main JS in here, so we create constant for Pinia, and after that I'm going to say Pinia use store, and now add the store router. We also have imported here the router, and we say mark raw router. And with that, now if we go in the store, we don't need to import the user router. Remove that, and down there we just can say this. We access the router by saying this.router push. Save and come here and refresh. We need to import also the mark raw from the Vue but mark raw, save, and as we can see now we navigated the not found. So let's go back, let's clear this, and let's go to the Doctor Strange. Good. But if I type something we don't have, enter, yeah, we navigated the not found. So this is how we can use the router inside the store. Okay, that's it about this video. I hope you enjoy and see you in the next one. All the best. Hello friends, welcome. So in this video I'm going to work with the getters because I think in our store we have worked with state, also with the actions. So create state and actions, and then in the views we have import the store, create a constant for movies store object, and then use that to get the is loading state and also to get a single movie here, or the same in the movies. We get the movie store object and we call the get movies to get all the movies, and then we access the loading is loading state, and also we make a loop to the movies state. Good. Now let's work with the getters, and if you go to the getters here in the Pinia, here we have examples for getters. So getters are exactly the equivalent of computed values for the state of our store. So here we have an example, a getter like this, get the state here and manipulate the state. Also you have an example here, and return a number. As you can see, the return type must be explicitly set. So we say number make sure we return the number. Also accessing other getters. So here we have double count, and then we create another one and say return this double count plus 1. Also we have here passing arguments, the getters. So we have the state here and also the argument, which is this user ID. And in the template, we say get user by ID and add that argument, which is true here. Good. But in our case, I'm going to, so let's go here in the store. And first I'm going to create a getter to get the total count of movies. And I'm going to display that here when we say movies in the header and the count, how many movies we have. So for that, let's come here and let's say, give it a name. I'm going to name it total movies like this. And we need to add the state as we saw. And here I'm going to say return the state and now access the movies array and get the length of movies. That's it. Now, because inside of the movies, and let me remove this, we don't need that anymore. So now here on the H1, when you say movies, let me also add some classes. I'm going to say text to Excel, font, I'm going to make semi-bold, and text indigo 700 or 600. Okay. And now here when you have movies, I'm going to add parentheses, and then inside here I'm going to display the getter we have here, the total movies. And we can display that by saying movies store and dot and the getter, which is the total movies, like this. Not in, we don't call that, we just add a pointer. And let's save, come here, and if I refresh, now we have movies, and how many movies we have? 5. So if I go here and refresh, go to the movies now, we have 5 movies. Okay, so the first getter is here. Next, I'm going to create another getter, and let me do something like this so it's more nice for you. I'm going to create another getter here. I'm going to filter the movies. So let's say here, filter movies like this. And I'm going to return. So as you can see now, this is as a function. And I'm going to return this by saying something like this. As a function, we have access to this and say this dot movies now. Here we access by adding the state. Here we can, because this is as a function, we have access to this, and now we have this dot movies. And I'm going to say dot filter. I want to filter the movies and add a movie here, and I want to return. I'm going to filter the movies by the year. So if I open here in the db.json, in the movie we have also the year, as you can see, and I want to filter them by year. So I'm going to say return movie dot year, and if that is greater or equal than some year, for example, let's say so we have 2019, 18, 16, 14, and 2004. So we can say greater than 2010 here, and we are going to get all except this one. But I'm going to do, so let's do something like this now. And in the movies, here when we make a loop, so let's see, we have 5 movies here, as you can see. We can say also not make a loop in the movie store, but make a loop to these filtered movies we created. So say movies store, filter movies like this. And if I save now, we have only 4 because in the filter we say return the movie year greater than 2010. That's it, okay, but I'm going to do something else. I'm going to say here, let's say filter or a year, I think is, and I'm going to add 2000 here, and then here I'm going to say this, not something like this dot year. And now if I save, come here and refresh, we have 5 because initially this year is 2000. And in the movies, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a select here. So I'm going to add the select inside here, and let's cut this one, add a div with a class flex, or just margin 2 and padding 2, and then I'm going to add another div here with class flex, and I'm going to add inside here, I'm going to add select input. After this one, I'm going to add what we had here. So let's save first and let's see. Yeah, we have something like this. Refresh, everything works. And also if I inspect the elements, go to the console, clear this up and go back. Yeah, everything works. But now I want to add that select here, and I have prepared, and just I'm going to paste that in this div. Here I added a select with ID select movies and some classes here, and also options. Here the value is 2000, 2010 and 2020. So what I want to do, I want to access this year here and change when we check this select, and then if we change that 2010, this is going to be 2010, and here the filter is going to return the movies whether the year is greater than or equal to 2010. Okay, so in here now in the select we need to add the V model also, V model, and we're going to use this here. So V model movie store dot year like this. Save, and if we save that, come here, let me add in this flex margin bottom of 4. Yeah, like this. And right now, as you can see, we have 5 movies. If I select over 2010, we have only 4 because in the db.json, this one is 2004, so is not greater than 2010, what we have selected in here. And also if we select 2020, we don't have any movie with greater or equal than 2020, I think. Yeah. So let's come here and let's say 2020, we don't have any, but if I change this to be 2020 like this, and let's save, and if I refresh, select now 2020, we have this one. And let's inspect the element to see the console, everything works correctly. Go back, go to the movies, select all. Okay, select over 2010 and select over 2020. Okay, now one more thing, if you like, if you don't like, no problem. As you can see, right now we have one movie here because we chose this select here, but the movies, right, is saying here we have 5 movies which we have in the total. If you don't like to add the total but just how many movies we have over 2020, for example, or here over 2010, and want to update also this one, we can do that. You can see here we have also the getters, accessing other getters. Here we have an example with this, and we access the getter like this. We can say also here, instead of returning the total movies, we say return but let's make this function, and let's say return this dot filter movies dot length, and let's save, go up here and refresh. Right now we have 5 movies. If I select 2010, we have 4 movies, and if I select over 2020, we have only 1 movie here. Okay, that's it about the getters, and I think we have all covered, so the state, getters, and the actions. Also we have plugins here, but this is for more advanced, so I'm not going to show you that. I show you also how we can add the router inside the main.js. We just added Pinia use store and store router, and we can use in the store by saying this .router push. Okay, I think we are okay now. This is our store, movies with the state, with getters, and the getter will access another getter, and with some actions. I hope you enjoy, friends, and if you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and see you in the other tutorials. All the best.